Many people have unsuccessfully tried to use plant material as a biological indicator when they should put down their pre-emergence herbicide. Forsythia, for example, has been recommended for years as the plant material of choice. Unfortunately, because of different varieties of Forsythia, location in the landscape, they fail to accurately predict when you should put down your pre-emergent herbicides. There's a much more accurate tool, relatively easy to use, that we'll talk about today, and that is soil thermometers. Measuring soil temperature is a relatively easy and painless task if you've got the right tools. What you need is a thermometer designed to be inserted into the soil. Now you can go to some of your online web sources and pick up a soil thermometer designed especially for that, and generally they're going to run you anywhere from $15 to $20. Interestingly enough, you can go down to your local mass merchandiser and pick up a thermometer designed for cooking for relatively inexpensive, somewhere around $10 or less. They can be digital, or they can be analog, and both of these will probably serve the function that you're attempting to do. What you want to look for, though, is the range of temperatures that the thermometer will measure. You've got to start somewhere down around 0 and end up somewhere between 200 and 300 degrees. Now obviously your soil temp better not be in the 200 to 300 range, but that happens to be the cooking thermometers that are available currently for this use. Besides the range of soil temperatures or temperatures on that gauge, what else do you need to look for? Well, what you want to look for is it's got to have a metal end on it so that it can be inserted into the soil. It's got to have a gauge that's relatively easy to read, and this is often overcome with the use of a digital thermometer. The other thing is how deep do you need to insert this into the soil? Well, you want to be a minimum of 2 inches and no more than 4 inches into the soil. If you insert it too shallow, what ends up happening is you grossly overestimate soil temperature, and if you put it too deep, you may underestimate that soil temperature as well. Once that probe is inserted, what exactly are we looking for? Well, first thing, you want to make sure you get a stable temperature reading. The temperature gauge should be not moving up or down, and that'll be a good indication of exactly what that soil temperature is at that point in time. The other thing we want to look for is specific soil temperatures. And it's not going to work just to do this one day and say, okay, we're ready to treat today. What you need to look for is sustained temperatures. And those temperatures specifically are, for crabgrass, that temperature is 55 degrees. So you want to be 55 degrees in midday, a minimum of 3 days in a row before you're ready to put that application down. Something like spurge and foxtail, we're looking at something around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And for that really troublesome weed that we see in drier climates, sandbur, you want to be at 65 degrees. So you can see, if you had a complement of weeds, you may be hedging a little bit just to make sure that you get all the weeds involved, but realize that something like sandbur, which is notoriously hard to control, is going to have a minimum temperature sustained over multiple days of 65 degrees to effectively control it. So you may delay the first application, or maybe consider using 2 applications, as is often recommended, for adequate control of sandbur. People are always a little over anxious to get out there and put that pre-emergence and fertilizer on in the lawn in the spring. And they'll use something like Forsythia or some other biological indicator. Unfortunately, as we've told you, these fail. What you need to do this accurately is a really good soil thermometer.